My name is Christian Boyette, a graduating student of UCF's game design track. This video displays the game prototype I made for my consideration for admittance into the producer track at FIEA for fall 2016. For my prototype Aegis, I designed a first-person dungeon crawler that breaks away from high offensive gameplay and focuses on defensive play and positioning. My prototype starts with the player picking up their only weapon, a shield, and utilizing the bash ability to unlock the path in front of them. The second ability allows the player to root themselves and cast a beam of light from the shield which affects enemies and the environment. First enemy type is the cherub. It is the only enemy not affected by light and it slowly moves towards the player with a rotating hammer that deals damage. The player is able to destroy the cherub with shield bash. Blue flames in the environment can be extinguished for a short time with light, while red flames reignite right after the light is gone. Here, the player uses the final shield ability to plant the front of the shield into the ground while maintaining a buckler. This allows the player to disable the fire and turn it off permanently by bashing the button on the wall. Placing a sheer nail mount will move the planted shield along a track. This allows the player to get to otherwise inaccessible areas. The icon in the top right corner shows possession of the shield. The next enemy type is the shade. When light hits the shade, it turns to stone, dropping it to the ground. If the shade is not bashed while it is stunned, it will rise back up and attack the player. If the shade reaches the player, it explodes, dealing damage. The path is blocked by an enemy gate. To unlock it, the player must destroy a specific number of enemies. Ahead, the player's light is unable to reach the relic across the gap. However, mirrors in the environment allow the player to reflect light and accomplish tasks. Gold mirrors can be picked up, and their possession is noted in the top right corner. In Aegis, light exposes what is false. In this case, it allows the player to see fake floor tiles while making their way through this area. The next enemy is the Knight. The Knight chases the player, slowing down to emit fire when it is close. Knights will cast fire to counteract a small beam of light, but can be overwhelmed by the light emitted from the planted shield, petrifying it. Bashing a petrified knight will burst out of the rock, enraging it. While enraged, it can resist the planted shield, but the blunt force of a shield bash can turn it back into stone. Bashing a petrified and enraged knight destroys it. This area requires that the player cast 4 beams of light onto a large light relic to open the door. The candles in the area can be illuminated to allow the player to focus the light with a mirror. The mirror near the rock hints that there may be something hidden to the player. The player then uses their last ability, a small placeable lantern. The lantern acts as a candle in that it doesn't affect enemies, but the light can be focused. With the door now open, the lantern will shatter, going onto a cooldown indicated in the top right. In this last area, the player must illuminate a large light fountain. While lit, it will lower the nearby columns one by one, giving the player the ability to crush the chaos shards that sit atop them. Blue shades in the area target the fountain, and upon reaching it will extinguish it. The player must defend the fountain while also surviving. Crushing the chaos shard spawns an enemy, in this case a knight, and begins the descent of an adjacent column. Second column now lowered, the player can shatter the second shard, spawning the final enemy. The last enemy is the Brute, a large monster that rushes the player before using a combination of small and great jumps that shake the earth, knocking back and damaging anything near. Even the planted shield cannot completely petrify the monster, but is enough to allow the player to reach the chaos shard mounted on its back. Damaging the shard sends the Brute into a frenzy, in which he creates a massive shockwave. The shockwave knocks the shield to the ground, and the player must evade the Brute while retrieving it. The third attack of the shard shatters it, letting the Brute be completely encased in stone. Now stone, the player can destroy the Brute, clearing the level. Thank you for watching.